Fox News reported yesterday that in a cartoon published by the Lexington Herald-Leader, Daniel Cameron, the Attorney General of the state of Kentucky, a Republican and a black man, is shown with noticeably lighter skin than in real life, is wearing what appears to be a Make America Great Again hat backwards, and is saying that he would let people die if he were governor during a pandemic. And the scene is set inside a church with another figure appearing to play the role of Jesus Christ nailed to a cross in the background. Does it get any sicker than that? And it is a pleasure and an honor to have the Attorney General of Kentucky with us, Daniel Cameron. I mean, how come the left can get away with this blatant, flat-out racism against a person like you?
Well, Mark, thank you for having me on. It is absolutely disgusting to have a major newspaper in Kentucky publish a cartoon that is so sick and is disdainful, obviously, of Christians, of people of faith, and then to add an element to sort of try to demean me or, look, at the end of the day, I see this a lot, unfortunately, from the far left, which they tell us they're tolerant, but if you are a black conservative, there's no tolerance for you. And so, unfortunately, this stuff happens. In fact, this same newspaper published a cartoon from the same cartoonist in 2019 with Donald Trump in KKK garb and me being drugged behind him. So this is par for the course, sadly, for this newspaper, but it's despicable. The Herald-Leader should be ashamed of itself, and they should fire the cartoonist Joel Pett if they have any desire to make amends with conservatives that live in this Commonwealth. Again, they disparaged me, which is fine because when you're in leadership, you know you're going to take the slings and arrows. But what incensed me the most was the fact that they mocked faith, that they had this cartoonist mock the crucifixion of Christ as well. It's disgusting, and that's why I'm fighting. I'm running for governor, as you know, Mark, and I'm running and fighting for the values of Kentuckians, and we've got to push back against this far-left nonsense that is trying to creep into our Commonwealth.
Attorney General Daniel Cameron of Kentucky, who is running for governor. Got a lousy governor there right now, just one man's opinion. And I'm looking at this cartoon. It looked like not only is the substance horrendous, this is a cartoon. It looks like it's a third-grade drawing. And the way is Jesus on the cross is so utterly and completely, as you point out, disrespectful and so forth. I mean, this guy's a real hater. And let me ask you this. Have newspapers across the country raised any concerns about what was done by this local paper?
You know, it's sad. I mean, the legacy far-left media has been absolutely silent on this because, one, it doesn't fit into their progressive far-left narrative. Two, I am a black conservative, and so therefore it's not offensive because they don't deem anything that the far-left does to black conservatives as offensive. But again, I am going to stand up for folks here in Kentucky. I don't care whether the folks on CNN or MSNBC disparage me or the far left disparages me. I've got a responsibility to fight and stand up for the values of Kentucky. I'm going to continue to do that, whether they call me names or draw despicable cartoons about me. It doesn't matter. I'm going to do what's right by our Commonwealth. And again, that's why we need, to your point, Mark, we have a lousy governor. He shut down churches. He shut down small businesses. He shut down schools for nearly 2 years. We're still having learning loss from our students because of it. And we need new leadership here in Kentucky, and that's why I'm running for governor.
Let me ask you a question. You have a Republican primary there?
We do. Our primary is on May 16th, and if any of your listeners want to get involved, they can go to CameronForKentucky.com. Again, that's CameronForKentucky.com. I feel very strongly about our position. There are a lot of candidates in this race, but I've been running on a record which is, again, standing up to the Biden administration. When the Biden administration tried to force vaccine mandates on Kentucky, I went to federal court and got those vaccine mandates halted. when our governor shut down churches, I went into federal court, and after 9 days got churches reopened in Kentucky. And I've been standing firm on pro-life and other conservative constitutional values, and I'm going to continue to do that.
Do you consider yourself the conservative in the race?
I absolutely consider myself the conservative in the race, and not only do I consider myself the conservative in the race, but President Donald J. Trump has endorsed my campaign for governor, and over 100 law enforcement officials have endorsed this campaign for governor. And Mark, if you want to get in on the fun and endorse this campaign, I'd be grateful as well.
Well, that's where I was going. And I do want to endorse you for your race for governor. And we desperately need you to be the governor of Kentucky. And
wow.
And I think you would do a fantastic job. So I don't know if it's going to hurt you or not, but yes, I will endorse you.
I'm honored. Thank you so much. That means the world to me.
And let me say this to you. Nobody should have to put up with this racism, this modern-day racism. It's an amazing thing. We talk about racism 100 years ago. We talk about the founding and who owned slaves. We look at today what's going on here where you have a newspaper. They know this guy's a reprobate. They had to approve the running of his cartoon in their newspaper. The New York Times knows this was done. The Washington Post knows it was done. The whole world now knows it was done because I just talked about it. And you won't get any support whatsoever for the left because the Democrat Party is very forgiving of Democrats. Is it not?
Right. No, that's right. No, Mark, to your point, I mean, again, there will be radio silence from the far left, again, because so long as the far left attacks a black conservative, it's okay. That is inbounds, but everything else is politically offensive. Again, whether it's me or other black conservatives, we know that this comes with the territory, but I think where they misunderstand is that I'm always going to stand up and stand strong, and I'm not going to back down. I'm going to continue to talk conservative values and a conservative vision because that is what I believe is best for the black community, for all communities. And that's what I'm going to keep standing firm for in this race for governor. And when I am governor, we're going to have a governor here and leadership here in Kentucky that is going to fight for our values and push back against the Biden administration daily.
Tell America a little bit about your background and where people can go to help you.
Yes, sir. Well, look, I grew up in Hardin County, which is about 40 minutes south of Louisville, Kentucky. Went to undergrad and law school and graduated from there and worked at a law firm and worked in D.C., then came back to Louisville and got the notion to run for Attorney General in 2019 and had a resounding win in 2019. And I've been serving as the Attorney General these last 3 years, and again, just been standing up for constitutional rights and conservative values, and want to take that approach to the governor's office. And if anybody wants to know more about our campaign, I invite you to go to CameronForKentucky.com. Myself and my wife, Mackenzie, our 15-month-old Theodore, we would be honored to have your help. Again, our primary is on May 16th. We'd love to have your vote. And if anybody wants to help us financially, again, CameronForKentucky.com.
Let's put it up there, Mr. Producer. One last question. I only have a few seconds. Is the current governor running for re-election?
He's running for re-election, but we are going to retire Andy Beshear and the Beshear dynasty in November of this year.
All right, sir. Well, God bless you and good luck.